Ditto with this 1500. I watched this 1500. I thought, man, Gordon is loving this 1500. First of all, Oliver Hoare does his thing. Just takes a bat to the whole field here. Justyn Knight goes with him, just like in Eugene. There's this huge gap. I don't even blame the other guys for not going with him because there's not at Oliver Hoare Justyn Knight's level right now. But it was just interesting when you see zoom in on those. Can you zoom in, Travis, on those finishing times? Not the top two. What's that magic 336? Let's see. Oh man, it's like a magnet, Gordon. It's like they cannot avoid the U.S. guys cannot avoid the 336. I feel bad almost. It's like there's this jinx on them that you have put on these American men, so that way they think they can only run the 336. But credit to Hoare, man. I heard in the broadcast we're talking about they think he can go 330 this year. I definitely think it's possible, for sure, that he can do it because he's doing this off of, yes, good pacemaking, but taking the lead in the hardest part of the race.
Yeah. I don't know why these Americans don't want to at least attempt to run with them. Like, they didn't even try to go with the rabbit after, like, once they got to like 600 meters, they're like, nah, we're not going with the rabbit. And there's something about it. Like, they all decided none of them wanted to go with the rabbit and Hoare and Knight. Like, and it was so visual. They had the entire race was two different races. You had the American race and then you had the elite race. I mean, not to criticize the Americans, but like,
they're not going with them because they went out in 56. That's why they're not going out with them. I don't think it's
they didn't run 328. They ran 333. Okay, like it's not like they ran something incredible, crazy fast. They ran the equivalent of a 350 mile, something that college kids did this year. It's not like they were running like Timothy Chariot type times. 333 should be a baseline if you're an elite American 1500 meter runner. I mean,
I don't think it's a matter of deciding
sub 330.
I think in some situations you're right. It's a matter of decision. It's a matter of making the choice. I think this was all ability. I think Hoare and Knight are that much better than those guys, especially running that style, going out in 56. I think they were worried about completely blowing up and falling off the back.
What happens if you blow up? What happens if you blow up? You run 340? Oh, wow. I ran 340 instead of 338. Big deal. Like, who cares if you blow up? Give yourself an opportunity to run fast. How many 338s and 337s and 336s do you need on your resume before you're like, all right, I can afford to lose one of these 337 races for a chance at a 334? For a chance. You know, you might as well take it.
I think they thought their best chance to run the sub 335 was to run a little bit more even from the gun. I just think.
Well,
I think we shouldn't
give a full 2 seconds off of that.
Well, right, but I'm saying we shouldn't. We should give respect to Hoare here and Knight about how good they are, and not make it seem like it's just a decision from the U.S. guys to back off. Like they're running with obviously with some guts there, putting themselves out there, but they're also completely, I think, on a different level. I mean, we saw Hoare's done this enough times. Hoare's done this enough times now to where we have a lot of evidence that he's at that level. Did it once indoors and now has done it twice outdoors. I think Hoare is in a different tier than he was a couple of years ago. I think when we see him go to the Diamond League this summer, I think he's going to be up in that group. I'm not putting him with Chariot and Ingebrigtsen yet, but I think he's inching his way up there into the Kerr realm, Kerr was top 6 guy in the world in 2019.
Yeah, I agree. Hoare and Knight are a better right now, but like they're not Supermen right now. Like,
well, no, I'm not saying Superman, but I'm saying
because the Americans are choosing to run like Clark Kent's instead of running like they're running like low. Like it's just like, come on, like, and I get it. Like, there's a lot more to it, and who am I to say this? But like, hey, it's the Olympic year. We shouldn't be running times that college kids are running. We literally had 2 college kids run sub 336, right? One of them's a sophomore in college, and we're out here being paid professionals, and you're running 337, 338. And I get it. It's hard. It's hot. And like, Gordon, you try running 338. I can't, and I never will be able to. But there was a
No.
1500 though that I might have been able to finish top 2 in, which we can get to later. Travis will find that. But I'm just saying, like, it's okay to like go for it and fail. Like, what are we doing? You don't need more 338s. You need a
I see what you're
335.
saying. I see what you're saying from a risk reward standpoint. You're right. The incentive should be there to go for it. Someone like, but see, it does not surprise me. Someone like Henry Wynn, 336, like solid time for Henry Wynn. I think the problem is someone like Engels, who finishes back in 7th with a 337.9. He's the guy who has that ability. Obviously, he can run 332. He can run 333, but he's not at that point yet. Obviously, Engels, does he have an incentive to run sub 335? No. Now I know
He's
we're gonna.
like, thanks, guys. Slow down.
Well, and that college meet you talked about, as good as it was, how many guys ended up getting the standard? Now I know there's going to be the world rankings and all this other stuff, but if we're scoring at home, any week where there's not a sub 335 American, it's a good weekend for Centro, Thompson, and Engels, right? A big win for them because you had all these fast people run in all these races that were set up to go quick, and still we have 3 guys with the standard.
And I do think Hawker is going to have the world ranking standard because he's running enough. He has a 350 under his belt. He now has his 335, 336. If they can get, you need 5 strong performances, and I think he'll have 5 under his belt by the time he finishes the trials. So I really think that we're going to select a team member to the men's 1500 based off of world ranking. I think that's going to happen because we're not going to see like 12 guys with 334 PBs or season best. So, hey man, it is just wild. Like it's comical. Why are you in this race if literally a minute in you already are deciding I am giving 0 chance of winning this race? 80% of that, no, 95% of that
winning the
field
race or running 335?
decided. No, 90%, 95% of that field decided after a little bit over a lap. I know I'm guaranteeing I am putting myself in 0 position to win. None of them tried to win the race except for Justyn Knight and Ollie Hoare. That's if you're on but
listen though. You could see the same thing.
Stage, you're getting in a plane to go to this big meet sponsored by the World Athletics and USATF, and literally 60 seconds in the race, you're just gonna be like, "Yeah, no, I don't plan on trying to win this race anymore." That's just crazy.
The same thing happened in Doha. Timothy Chariot went out hard, and no one went with him really in that race. And you even talked to the guys afterwards. They thought it's kind of going to be 2 races. Chariot's going to do his thing. Now,
there's a lot more value. There's a lot more value to a world medal than there is to the Mount Sac 3rd place win.
No, but I'm talking about the mental approach you take to a race when you just know you cannot run that pace. Asking someone to sign up for that, it's just basically you're gonna blow up. Basically, they're making a business decision here, right? They know what they can handle. I understand that. I understand that it
is not insane. We keep on acting like 333 is some like world class. Oh my god, performance. It's like no, like
but they went out like in 50. Someone can get this. Who's got the split? Because I only have the 300 split here, which is completely useless, 40.1. But I feel like they went out in 56. And if you're going out in 56 for the first quarter, that is fast. 56 is fast for the first quarter.
It's not fast
right?
If it's in like a train. If everyone is
like 327. Hold on. That's like 327 pace. That's like 327 pace. It's fast. That's fast. Those are the splits, but that's a 300 split. That doesn't really help us. I thought through the first quarter they were around 56. So
yeah, but at
there is a point.
They let the break happen.
No, they were gone. It was gone from the beginning. There was basically a 2-second gap between that group and then everybody else. 2 seconds in, or 1 lap in. In any event, credit to Hoare. credit to Justyn Knight. He got the standard. He said on this podcast he wanted to try to get that 1,500 meter Olympic standard. Maybe he'll run the 1,500 meter too. That'd be exciting race to watch.